Boxing is 75% mental and only 25% physical. This is a quote by Cus D'amato, who used to be Mike Tyson's coach and really the mastermind behind Mike Tyson's success. And we are going to talk about his one really great tip that is a kind of psychologically supported tip that is going to change so much in your life, so much, literally so much, whether you're playing sports or doing something else. And this tip is really great. I cannot believe that psychologists really didn't come up with it. And let's dive right into this. Basically, as you probably know, if you know who Cus D'amato was, he was very interested in psychology, even psychiatry and esoterics. He really dove deep into that, and he read a lot of books about it. So he had these really great tips that were not only theoretical, but they were really working. They were really working, and we can see that by Mike Tyson's success. And he was really big on affirmations. Like, he would affirm to his trainees, to Mike Tyson and his other students, he gave affirmations that you're getting stronger and stuff like that. But affirmations is not the secret we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about another psychological concept. So basically, one of the great affirmations that he gave to people he coached was, mind always makes things worse than they really are. And this kind of one little affirmation contains this psychological concept called catastrophizing. In cognitive psychology, catastrophization is basically when you are making things worse than they really are, or maybe it is making the situation you're in look worse than it really is. For example, let's imagine that you are late to work, right? And just by being late to work, you're jumping into conclusion that you are going to be homeless because you're going to get fired and you're not going to be able to find another job, and you're jumping straight into conclusion that something extremely out of proportion, blown out bad is going to happen. How does this apply to boxing? How really is it useful to boxing? Because obviously no one, Mike Tyson wasn't late to work, and if he was, it was still bad. I mean, his work was boxing. But anyway, boxing is the type of sport where you have to fight fear a lot, because it's really there is danger to your health, right? And several days and even hours before the fight, fighters experience this fear. But honestly, it's not only about fighting. I believe that in other sports, athletes experience this fear. For example, soccer and football, because there's always something on the line. And when you are catastrophizing, it makes you feel like there is more on the line than there really is, right? So before the fight, there is always this kind of intense fear that you have in there that does not allow you to think rationally and act rationally, right? So by affirming to yourself, not only before the match and during this very stressful times that mind makes things worse than they really are, you are going to be way more prepared for this cognitive bias that you're having, right? Because one thing I don't really like about cognitive psychology is that even the word catastrophizing just makes things look kind of more serious than they really are. And instead of going to multiple therapies and really trying to solve this, and I'm not talking about everyone, this is just from my experience, because I've dealt with this sports performance anxiety and just overall anxiety. This is one of the things I personally used to struggle with. with. By the way, if you're experiencing a severe anxiety, you should go and see a doctor, and maybe some medicines are going to be prescribed to you. But after that, this concept is also going to be really helpful for you. At least it was for me. So instead of going to multiple therapies, just affirming this to yourself is going to be, I believe, in some cases even so much better. Affirming this one sentence that mind makes things worse than they really are, which is, I believe, true for most of us. Yeah, so in psychology, this catastrophization concept just when you're going into therapy, usually you and your therapist are treating this once again as something like super serious, and what are we going to do about it, and this is like such a big problem. But this little sentence that Cus D'amato used to tell his trainee, like to people he coached, just makes things feel so much like lighter, which is something that you honestly need in those type of like very stressful situations, like before the fight or before the match or before the game. So really, and this is something that his athletes really have taken to their lives, and this is something that is helping them throughout their lives. And obviously I know that because I listen to their interviews. This is something that I believe that sometimes people who apply theory sometimes make theory even better, and I believe that this is the case with Cus D'amato. I really believe that this one sentence that you can affirm and ingrain into your thought pattern, and really this is something that honestly I believe that Cus D'amato was the type of person who understood how mind works better than others, and he really was good at the end of his life. Especially he was really good at applying what he has learned throughout his life to applying these concepts in real life because of how much experience he has had. And honestly, reading about these coaches, the types of coaches like Cus D'amato used to be, is just so helpful, and it really makes this theoretical concepts like cognitive psychology, or I don't know, behavioral psychology and other type of psychology, it makes it so much more applicable, honestly. And you as well, probably, maybe especially if you're a fighter, should really read his book. I believe he has one book, or at least listen to his interviews, because even this little thing, like even this little affirmation, sentence, belief system, core belief, whatever you want to call it, that mind makes things so much worse than they really are, is gonna help you so much with anxiety, performance paralysis, like fear of performance, and perfectionism paralysis, and so much more other stuff. So it's really helpful. Sometimes these little things can really make a huge difference, because often we know that the concept, but we don't really know how to apply it. And this little affirmation, this little belief system that you should really ingrain into your thinking pattern, is just making such a bigger difference, I believe. So what you should do is, when you feel that something, even in your life, if you're an athlete, even if it's not your athletic life, even if something is in your personal life or career is not going that great, you should really remember this thing, like really tattoo it in your brain, that mind always makes things worse than they really are. And really remember it, and it's gonna make things so much easier for you mentally, and it's gonna help you to go through the stressful or difficult times with so much more energy, because you're not gonna waste your energy on this anxiety or on the fear that a lot of us experience when we are facing a difficult or a painful, psychologically painful situation. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos that I have on this channel. I also have some other videos about Mike Tyson. I have other videos on psychology. If you're interested in sports psychology and really applying theory to practice, this is a channel for you. And as I've already said, thank you so much for watching to this video till the end. Love you guys.